Hey guys, welcome back to Handmade Home. I'm Hester and today I got a crochet tutorial for you for people that can't crochet. If you're following my channel for a while, you might know I like to do every craft possible. I like working with wood, with concrete, I like to embroider, work with fabric, I like to paint, I like to DIY. But there's two things you never ever see me do. That's knitting and crocheting. There's just something about having to follow a pattern that precisely I really don't like doing. I think maybe I like a bit of freestyling a bit better. But then again, I want a rug and I really want a crocheted rug. So I came up with an idea how to crochet a rug for people that don't know or really don't like crocheting. I'm using 3 different colors of hooked spaghetti yarn to make this rug. My main color is the sandy color in the middle, and as accents I'm using the lime green and the olive. You also need a crochet hook. I'm using the standard hooked one, which is a 12mm. So you begin with your base color and you start by making a little loop at the beginning of your yarn. This really is the rug for people that can't crochet, because all you need to do is make a basic chain. You just put your hook through the hoop, you put your yarn around and you put it through the hoop you made. And that's it. So you go around and you put it through. And this is going to make the basic chain you normally start any crochet project with. And now all you need to do is just keep going. This is a perfect craft to do in front of the TV. Every now and then it's nice to add an accent color. So what you do is going to cut the yarn you are busy with. Then you're going to cut a piece of the accent color. I do bits of like 30-40 centimeters. You cut that as well and you're just going to knot them together. You can trim any excess. And then you just continue your chain. So you're going to wrap around and pull through. Don't worry too much if it's sticking out, because later on we can tuck that in. When you come to the end of your accent color, you just tie it to your base color again. So exactly the same as you did before. Just tie them together. Make sure it's nice and tight. And you keep crocheting. Keep going with your chain until you have a ball like this. You take your hook out of your chain and you tie this bit up. Just like so. I actually might double knot it just in case. And now you're ready to turn this massive chain into a rug. So the chain in this massive ball is around 50 meters long, and I didn't do this all in one night. I just had a basket full of yarn next to my sofa whenever I felt like it. When I was watching a movie or a bit of TV, I just start doing the chain until I had a ball that was this size. I'm so sorry, I completely lied at the beginning of the video. I used 3 accent colors, not 2. I used the olive, the lime, but also this really lovely mustard color. I just ran out of this yarn before I could do the intro of this video. So yeah, 3 accent colors and a nice sand. Now to make the rug, we're going to need some needle and some thread. I'm using a color that's very similar to the base tone. And what you're going to do is with one end, you're going to start coiling it up. And then every now and then, you're just going to start attaching the pieces together. I'm just going to get my thread on here. Go to the yarn a couple of times, just make sure your thread is anchored nice and securely. And then you're just going to do a few stitches to keep the coil in place. You're going to keep doing this until you used up all the yarn. Might take a while. Don't worry too much if you see your stitching, because it's going to be the wrong side anyway. We're going to use this side as the right side up. So you just keep going, but at one point you do have to make a decision what shape you want to make. If you want to go round, just keep going in a circle. Or if you want your rug to be slightly more rectangular, then just make sure you push it towards a rectangular shape. So the rug is coming on nicely, and even though I've done all the colors quite random, they seem to appear all on this side of the rug. And there's one thing I want to show you of where I went wrong. Do you notice the raised bit here? It's because I went way too tight with this circle. I just wrapped it around too tight, stitched it too tight, and now it's puckering up. I didn't notice until later on, so I didn't really want to go back. But hopefully this flattens out a little bit when you walk on the rug. But yeah, if you do it nice and loosely, you get a really nice flat rug like you see here. So at one point you're gonna think your rug's big enough. Mine at the moment is roughly 75 centimeters in diameter, and I think it's plenty big enough for what I need it for. So I cut my yarn off. I actually have some left over. This is 10 meters, so I only use 40 meters of my crochet yarn. And now we're just gonna tuck this in with your needle and thread. So I just cut this off and double knotted it so it doesn't go anywhere. And just how you've been doing all along, you're just gonna stitch this in place. And just give it a few extra stitches of where this knot is and make sure it ties in nicely. And then your rug is finished. So what do you think of the rug? Not bad, hey, for somebody who doesn't like to crochet. I really love all the accent colours, the little pops of colours here and there in the sandy tone. And I use the olives and the yellows, but you can of course use any colour you like. This isn't a quick project though. You can of course do it in the weekend if you really want to, but for me it was more the case of having the yarn next to the sofa, do a little bit of crocheting at the time until I was bored, and also stitching the rug together. I really like doing it just in front of TV, having Netflix on, watching movies, stitch the rug until you don't want to do it anymore. Don't forget about it and then keep continuing the next day or the day after or whenever you fancy making a rug. But in the end, I think it looks really, really cool. And if you enjoyed this video, please share it on your social media and give it a big thumbs up here on YouTube. And if you want more craft ideas for your home, have a look on my website. Hester'sHandmadeHome.com is full of craft ideas for your home. And I'll be back next week with a new video. See you then.